I don't know what is going on with this darn YouTube. Um, this YouTube app. But anyway, how y'all doing? I am. It's 9 o'clock where I'm at, and unfortunately, I'm being lazy. Um, I'm just chilling. I've been up since 8, but for whatever reason, I can't get my body up. I'm trying to get myself together so I can start my exercising. But I just don't even feel like doing that, but I'm gonna do it. Hey, Randy. How you doing? Good to see you. I think I put the link in the chat. I mean, not the chat, but I put the link in the on my community wall. Um, if anybody wants to come up, they can. Hey, Deborah. Hey, CC. You've been bouncing around in these streets, CC. Good morning, cause I know it's early in Cali. You pretty how you are. Not all meant to be the same size. Oh, okay. Well, I'm okay. I understand what you're saying, but it's nothing wrong with being tan. I said tan, toned. I'm not trying to lose weight. Do you guys see? I'm just trying to be toned and work on my glutes and my legs. Keeping my waist down. And just keeping my cholesterol down. Cause it's nothing like having a nice looking body and high cholesterol that can clog up your heart. So, I don't care how cute you look, you're at risk of a heart attack if you have high cholesterol. Hey, Taryn, but I'm okay with being a thickum. Thickums has opened a lot of doors for me, so it's okay. I'm not tripping. I'm just worried about cholesterol and being toned. So that's what I'm concerned about. hmm Yeah, because like I said, I have been not super skinny, because I ain't never been super skinny, but I've been smaller, and then I am here. So, you know what I'm saying? I ain't tripping. But long as I ain't walking around looking like a Michelin man, I'm okay. If I start looking like a Michelin man, then Houston, we got a problem. 'Cause ain't nobody trying to be a Michelin man. Big arms, well, I kind of have big legs. Well, I have big thighs for sure. But I ain't trying to go around looking like Marshmallow Man. You know what I'm saying? It's not cute. High cholesterol, about to have a heart attack. Like nobody wants that. But back to what I was saying, I don't know if you can see my title. It could have changed. I don't know you know, what YouTube is doing. It had started me out live and then it had ended. So I don't know if my title is in there. But what I will say is the title I had was Accountability is Missing in Society. That was my first title. I've heard so many people that lack accountability. Oh my gosh, they constantly talk about accountability, accountability, accountability. And I'm like, you are full of manure. Okay. Um, I talk about accountability, but I also try to practice what I preach. Okay. You have heard me in a few of my live streams where I talk about like I took accountability or I noticed things about myself. When I say I notice things about myself and I try to correct the behavior, that means I am taking accountability. Accountability is seeing your faults, seeing things you need to improve on, not being delusional, but seeing them for what they are, and you acknowledge it and you work on that behavior. Either it could be a thinking error, it could be a behavior, a bad behavior issue. It's just it could be your faults, your flaws, or whatever. You're taking accountability, you're seeing it for what it is, and you're looking at yourself and you're making changes on yourself. Accountability is not deflecting or projecting, putting it on other people as if you don't see it and it's everybody else's fault. So in society in today, I see a whole bunch of projection and deflection, and taking no accountability for their own behavior, their own bad behavior. Listen, nobody in this earth has walked on water, at least that I'm aware of. Um, there may have been a few people that have been magicians or whatever, but the only person that I know that has actually walked on water and has not been, any trick or anything was Jesus Christ. So that means everybody else, we all in the same boat. We're trying to figure it out. And most of us are still trying to get it together. I would just say all of us. I don't know nobody that got it all together. And the people that pretend to act like they have it together, they just lying to themselves and everybody else. But most people, real can recognize real. They can kind of see. Hey, writers, they can kind of see if what you're talking about is bull. But some people may not say it. Some people will go out and say, you ain't you just talking about a whole bunch of BS. But anyway, back to what I was saying. I hope I sound like I've been smoking all night. But because I don't smoke, but when I'm laying down in this bed, when I'm laying down chilling, shoot, I sound lazy. Hey, Mr. Kimmy, how are you? Yeah, no one's perfect. But my thing is, you ain't gonna never see me. I ain't never did this. I ain't never lied. Hey, Marilyn. I ain't never lied. I ain't never did that. I ain't never did that. I'm gonna say, yeah, I've lied. Have I lied recently? No. Wait a minute. Let me go back. Did I lie recently? No, I don't make it a habit of just going around lying. If I did something, I did it. I say, yeah, I did it. If I said it, I'm gonna say, yeah, I said it. What's up? What you gonna do? If I said it or I didn't say it. But taking accountability is like admitting when you wrong on something. You know what I'm saying? Or when you had your part to play in it. Why is it so hard for people just to admit, yo, I messed up on this, or I was too prideful, or I was too selfish, or hell, I just like to lie, or I'm just a butthole, and I enjoy being a butthole because it makes me feel better about my life. I'm miserable, really, so I just take it out on you because it feels good. Like, people can't just be honest and just take accountability for their foolishness. And you're probably wondering who would do that. You know what I'm saying? I've been in situations where I had to just say, yeah, I did it. I don't like you. It just came out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I took accountability for what I said. You know what I'm saying? So I don't have a problem. That's why I said, who gonna whoop me? Hey, loyal family, how are you? I take accountability, and it would really do people some good. It would make people feel better if they would just admit, what they got going on with them. You know what I'm saying? I'm also say I'm not gonna be always positive. Hey Dubs, how are you? I'm not gonna be always positive because everything in life ain't positive. And if I go around here acting like Mr. Rogers in the neighborhood, that would be unrealistic, you know what I'm saying? I'm not none of that. I take accountability if I jumped out the window and said, "Oh hell yeah, I jumped out the window." Well, one of the reasons I jumped out the window because I already didn't like your ass. But I just think that people just you got to get to the point where you just got to be real with yourself. Is I think a whole bunch of people in society are just trying to be something that they're not. I've been there. You try to reach, what you say, catch up with the Joneses or whatever that means. I guess people that got it together, or assume have it together. Try to keep up with the Joneses. We try to make appearances like, yeah, I'm this bitch, I'm this, I'm that. Hey, Jack, how are you? And girl, we ain't got none of that. We ain't got none of that. You know what I'm saying? You look at Go and look at Instagram and see how many people got stories on there, like they the happy family. Then you look up and then you see them in a storyline. Man killed his wife and kids. Like, then he blaming the wife because she was trying to leave him, instead of just accepting accountability that you had a part to play in why the marriage failed. uh, Again, no accountability for what these folks do. They just do it and blame other people for it. Men, some of these men be killing their wives. Hey, Mika, they be killing their wives, their girlfriends, then blaming it on them because they say, "Oh, she was cheating on me with another man when he been cheating on her the whole time." I ain't gonna say how I know this story, but I know this story because I heard it. Thank you. Do somebody I know, and I ain't gonna say who or what, but it was a situation where I had a cousin, and well, shit, it already came out. But anyway, I had a guy cousin. First of all, he could teach his own, but he married a woman with 7 kids. Now, I'm not trying to be funny, but it ain't for everybody. I don't know too many men that don't, I think he had like 3 kids of his own. But anyway, the woman had 7 kids. He sit up there and married the woman. Then he gonna sit up there after marrying the woman. I guess he had some kind of D DV kind of charges. I don't know what was going on. They like to have sex and fight. One of them crazy relationships. Anyway, the moral of the story was when we was hearing this story, he said, "Yeah, she took me through a lot. She took my money. She really took me through a lot financially." Hey, Purple V, how are you? And he said she really took me through a lot and stuff like that. And so I was just like thinking more. Okay, I said it's more to the story than what he telling me. So he said, yeah, she left me and now she's married. She's married to somebody else. I said, dang, she just divorced this nigga and then got married again. That's wild. And I'm like, she must got some good cookie because for her to be moved from one marriage to another marriage with 7 kids, that's off the hook. Hey, I want to be like her when I grow up. So anyway, I went and asked another cousin. I said, yeah, I was hearing of this story, and I'm like, what the hell is going on with this? My cousin said, "That nigga just sit up there and he ain't tell what he did." I said, "What he do, girl?" Just gossiping like a big dog. Now, I take accountability for that. I was wrong for gossiping, but it is what it is. I was nosy too. I said, "Well, what happened?" Talking about this nigga was cheating on her the whole time he was with her. So I said, "What?" So he's sitting up there telling us, me and another cousin, this sad story about, oh, she left him and he was doing all this for her. This nigga was already cheating on her the whole time. I said, God, dog. My point of telling you is the story. Yes, Randy, a waste of time. But the moral of the story is he did not once take accountability for his part. See, he made it seem like he was good, like he had it. I could tell he was a lady man. He was a nice looking guy, so I knew this nigga was a ladies man. But see, he didn't take accountability for the fact that he was sitting up there cheating on her the whole time while he was married. Now she don't sit up there put, well, first of all, I wouldn't fool. I don't care if he a man now in this damn age, because I was. Yeah, I had a situation where I was thinking about dealing with a guy that has, I think, 6 kids, but I don't know what the hell's wrong with me. But anyway, back to what I was saying. He sit up there and made it seem like he didn't even do nothing, like she took him through the ringer. And but he not once said, "Well, I was cheating on her. I was doing this. I was doing that." See, that's what I'm saying. Nobody takes accountability. No, I ain't gonna say nobody. Most people do not take accountability. They always placing the blame on somebody else, and when they have a part to play in it, everybody got a part to play in it, whether it's small or big. There's always a part that you played in a situation. Stop being so immature. Stop being so self-righteous where you can't even see your own faults. That's what's wrong with folks in this day and time. That's why a lot of times I had to look at myself in the mirror and say, well, what did I do to contribute to this situation? Could I have done something differently? If I couldn't have done anything differently, then yeah, okay, well maybe it could be the other person's fault. And if you still here, can you go ahead and press the like button 2 times or touch the screen 2 times? I appreciate it. And if you're not a subscriber, I hope that you subscribe, like, share, and subscribe. Always push the notification sign, I mean button, so you'll know when I'm going live on my next time. But anyway, back to what I was saying. People just do not like to take accountability for what they do. If you have done something, if you have contributed to the problem and you have not tried to make the problem better, you need to be held accountable for your part. And don't try to put the blame on somebody. Say, well, he shouldn't have did that. You started it first. Oh, I used to hear it all the time when I was in school, these kids. Well, he started it first. Well, I'm always say, well, what did you do? What did you do in the situation? Right? One thing about some of these adults that are supposed to be adulting out here, they are just as immature and childish as one of these little kids out here. Like they don't see anything they've done wrong. They're not gonna call out anything that they did that they contribute to the situation. Listen, in each problem, whatever you're dealing with, if you're dealing with any type of a human being, you have to look at the situation and see what did you have to add to the situation. You can't always be a butthole all your life. You got to look and see and look at yourself. Look, as Michael Jackson would always say, you got to be the man in the mirror, right? You have to see that you're not perfect. You have to see that you also have a temper, that you also have a slick mouth, that you also can be very deceptive, that you also can be very childish, and you can stir things up when you know you should just leave things alone. I had to admit at one point in my life, and this is something that I have admitted publicly. One At one point in my life, and I still struggle with keeping myself together, but, every now and then, I would say back in the day, I had a really bad attitude. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't I really did. I had a temper. I was very defensive all the time. I couldn't take any constructive criticism. I was just a hot mess. I'm still a mess, but I'm not as hot mess as I was before back when I was in my 20s and stuff. I couldn't take accountability. Hey, peep game, good to see you. I couldn't take accountability to save my life. I was just really screwed up. And then when I started seeing how my attitude was affecting my relationships, whether it was with my family, whether it was with my friends, whether was with a significant other at the time, I had to just say, you know what, it's something going on, and it got to be not just other people. It got to be me. What did I do? And so when I got a counselor took me down. He took me down on some things, took down some situations and some of these behavior issues that I was having. And then she kind of made me realize, hey, your problem is not other people. Your problem is you. How many of times can we admit that the problem is not other people, but the problem is you? Now, sometimes it's other people because some people are just as messed up or more messed up than you are. So I ain't taking the blame off of me. I'll taking the blame on me for all that stuff, shit. Because some of that stuff is other people too. I'm talking about me. When my counselor told me to look at me first, and I started looking at me and started seeing some of my behaviors that was contributing in a negative way to the situation, I stopped making excuses for them and stopped working on them because I'm like, this can't all be a coincidence. Why is it this situation keep happening? And it's just the same thing. Well, I had to look at me. I had to look at me, and I'm still looking at me. Now, some things is not self-induced, and some things are. And when they are self-induced, I take accountability that yes, I had something to add to it. I can't blame nobody else. But why is it so hard for other people sometimes to do the same thing? But you know what? I think a lot of times some people just don't give a damn. They don't care how they treat other people. They don't care. They'll reap the consequences. They'll take it because they so damn prideful. But then there is some people, hey Will, hey Willie Will, and they'll see what they got going on. They'll be like, you know what? Maybe I need to take accountability for from what I've done. You know what I'm saying? But that's only a rare type of people. That's a rare type of people. That's why I like to constantly keep working on myself. I'm not perfect, but that's why I like to keep constantly working on myself because I understand that I'm not perfect. I got distorted views. My judgment sometimes is a little off. You know what I'm saying? Because my perception is my reality. And when you understand that just because your perception is your reality, it doesn't mean that it's right. You understand? It doesn't mean that it's right. And a lot of people have ruined relationships for no reason because they just can't accept accountability. Isn't that a awful thing to have a family member, to have a friend, to have a significant other that you could have worked things out with? But because you take no accountability and you just see it your way and you're just trying to get back, you just trying to prove a point instead of trying to just do what is right. See how many times you have ruined relationships right around you, people that you really care for, people that you really love, and you can't even accept, hey, I was wrong. I need to do this. Even though that person could have their part to play in it too, it is up to you to accept your accountability for what you've done, right? And that's what I see when I see myself. I don't see a perfect person, but I do see a person that's trying to do better. I never said that I was Jesus because I'm definitely not that. I'm not even the Virgin Mary. I'm not a nun, and most of them nuns and, and some of them priests, shit, they just suspect as well. So we all in this trying to make it. You know what I'm saying? We all in this trying to figure stuff out. We don't all have it together. You know what I'm saying? The difference between some people is they can see that they're not where they need to be, but they're not where they used to be. And they take accountability for the things that they've done, wrong, right, or indifferent, right? So it's real stupid to me when people cannot see themselves for who they really are. It's real stupid to me that they blame other people when sometimes they need to look at themselves. And then if you have done somebody wrong, if you feel like that maybe you have not been had the best of character at the time, the right thing to do to take accountability for your actions would to be to admit it. But because we have so many prideful people and we have so many people that's trying to prove a point instead of what is right and what is wrong, instead of just saying, hey, I wouldn't want nobody doing me like that, so I shouldn't have did nobody else like that. They can't do it. They won't do it because they too prideful. They too stuck up on themselves. They too selfish to see anything other than their point of view, right? And so when I understand that even though my perception is my reality, I still understand that there is a definite right and there's a definite wrong. Even though we live in a world that's sometimes gray, there's a definite right and there's a definite wrong. And if you wouldn't want it done to you, don't do it to other people. Accountability is a very long word. Okay. I don't even know sometimes if I could spell it, but accountability is something that we need to all take heed to and not just put it on other people. You know what I'm saying? I have so many different things that I've learned about myself, good, bad. And I will say that the thing that I do like about me is that I can accept it for what it is. I can look at myself. I can say, you know what? Yeah, you was wrong on that, homegirl. I don't mind apologizing. And when I apologize sincerely. I don't apologize and then say, well, let me do it again. Let me see how far I can go this time. I don't apologize and really don't mean it. If I apologize because I see my faults. I'm taking accountability for my wrong behavior. And I'm gonna make it a point not to do it again. Right? Hey Ryan, you know what I'm saying? So I just think that a lot of the times what I see in society is at work, it's at wherever you go grocery store, there's people gonna be all over that just cannot take accountability for nothing they do. And that's why the world is in the shape that it's in. That's why so many people are losing their life physically because people just cannot take accountability for what they did. They lose their life, then they on the run. When they just can't take accountability that I just unalive somebody because that person made me angry or because I wanted to. People just cannot take accountability for nothing. Is that something that's just in human beings that we just want to take the blame off somebody else and put it on another person? Maybe it is. Maybe it's a part of our sin nature that everybody has it. Like I said, I've had it. Everybody has had it. But the difference between some people is they understand that even though it's a selfish, it's a human thing to put the blame on somebody else. It's also a part of us that knows when something is right and when something is wrong, and not to lie about it. You know what I'm saying? And we are all sinners. That and people that don't believe in that, we are all sinners. That's nothing new. Just admit it that you have that sin nature, that you have a lack of accountability. You don't want to accept it. There was a time I didn't want to accept anything wrong about me. But the truth of the matter is, this is a lot of wrong with me. But there's a lot of good with me too. I'm not one of those people that want to come on here and say, Hallelujah, thank you, Jesus, and be cussing and fussing the next minute. I'ma just tell you, hey, I'm a believer, but I struggle and I will cuss you out if I haven't had a talk with Jesus. Okay. Now let's just keep it 100. I'm not perfect, and I'm not coming on here acting like I'm perfect and all super spiritual and all got it all together. I'm told y'all before, I don't have it all together. I'm trying to figure this mess out just as much as you are, you know. And some of the times I think I'm right, I'm dead wrong according to God's standards. So I don't have a hell or a heaven to put people in. But I will say, I look at myself first. And if I wrong somebody, I say, you know what? I wrong. I wrong. I wrong someone. I wrong someone. But if I haven't, I ain't admitting to jack. Okay? So that ain't powerful. That's just reality. I look at the situation. I even ask somebody that I trust and be like, you know what? And I think this would be somebody that I feel like would be objective to the situation. I'll sit up there and ask somebody. I say, you know what? I did this. This person did this. Do you think by from what I'm telling you, okay? Is there a way that I could have done something differently, or is the situation it is what it is? Like I always have somebody that's objective, not somebody that's going to be biased with me just because they like me, but somebody that can really. And sometimes I'll even ask my counselor this. I'll just be like, you know what? What do you think about this? Now, am I tripping, or are they tripping? Or what do you see? The person that's objective, they're gonna look at the situation and they're gonna be unbiased because I always try to talk to unbiased people. I don't. Now there is some friends I can't talk to because they gonna side with me. So we can't talk to those friends. We when we want the truth, sometimes we gotta talk. Thank you, Cece. We gotta talk to people that actually they know you, but they also know some of your bad behavior too. So they'll just be like, you know what? Yeah, you could have did this differently. Yeah, you could have said that differently. And then I'll be like, you know what? Let me kind of review it because I'm super analytical. I'll go back over and over and over again. Maybe that's a little bit of my control issue, but where I have to just overanalyze everything. But anyway, um, I'll just go over the situation. I'll be like, you know what? Yeah, I could have did that differently. I could have did that differently. Um, and then I'll go to the person. I'll be a woman about it. Um, and I'll say, you know what? Yeah, I was down bad for that. You know. But there is just some people I will not ever, I mean ever apologize to because some things that people do is unwarranted. It's uncalled for. And you will get that other side of me where I will say, and Jesus don't have nothing to do with it, but I will say F you and sit on some glass. You will never get an apology from me, right? But that's because I observe the situation and I know what I've done in my part, regardless of what has been said. I know what I've done on my part, and I know what you have done. So there is just certain things I will not bow down to, right? It is what it is, you know? Um and I'm good with that. I'm good with that. You said, why do people want me to make a page and ask this on the Oh Lord. Randy, I don't even know what you got going on. But the thing of the point of the matter is nothing can change about you if you don't accept your your faults. Like I said, nobody is perfect. We are all sinners, as they will say, sinners. We sinners, you know. The problem that separates you from other people, what separates you from other people is accepting your faults and working on those things. I told you earlier on this live stream, I was a young lady that could not accept accountability. I had a bad attitude. Um, I thought people owed me something. I had a sense of entitlement. Um, yeah, I was that. I was that. I was, I could be, and I still have a little bit of meanness in me, especially if I don't like you. Hey, Elle, how are you? Accountability was missing last on Damn D's panel. What happened, Elle? What happened, Elle? Did something happen? I wasn't tell you. I had some things I had to do yesterday, and I kind of was out and about. So did something happen, Elle? But I just don't I don't look for other people to accept their bad behavior. I don't look for other people to accept when they're wrong, but I do look at myself first. And people that I talk to, and there's very few people that I talk to offline anymore, especially from YouTube. Very few. I've made my list very small and for good reason. But I will ask people, listen, you know, did, should I even go into this? Should I not? Should I leave things alone? Hey, Earth Day. Should I expound on like what you think? You know what I'm saying? But sometimes, like I said, I know what I know and I see what I see. But if you was talking about accountability, um, I hey Sassy, I think I know what you're talking about, but I'm not for sure. So just kind of, if you L it, just kind of refresh me on something. Oh yeah, that whole excuse me. Oh God. I would just yeah, that um I don't know. Nah, I'm just gonna be honest with you. That young I that I ooh Sassy, I'm trying to keep it cute. Oh, yes indeed. Um, oh, I'm trying not to get Oak Cliff, South Dallas. Oh my God. Earth Day, need you. Oh, Lord. I want to let it rip. But oh, I'm trying to stay out the drama because you know these motherfuckers are waiting for me to say something. But what I will say, motherfucker, what I will say is, God help me. That's all I can say. I'm gonna say yes. I agree. L. I agree. Um, I do. Damn, I'm trying to. Do I really want to go there? Mm, okay. Terrence said, "Hush, girl." Yeah, hush. Let me hush. Not that I'm afraid. I just don't want that. Because some of these other people that may watch this, they don't know what the hell I'm talking about. But this is another thing of taking accountability. I know I can go real left real quick. So I'm gonna take accountability and say, yes, I can still do that. So I'm not going to do it, L52. I don't give a Taryn, don't start it. I don't care about you rocking with both. I don't give a damn. Okay. So we gonna stop that. So it don't got nothing to do with nothing. Okay. But what I will say is you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. But I'm gonna take accountability and know and tell you I can get real ignorant real quick. So I just learn to, just kind of chill out. You know what I'm saying? Clean. What you say? Clean. Put $5 away. Yes, I'm put it away. I'm gonna just say I'm taking accountability for who I am, where I am today. So yeah, cause ooh, L52. Yes, indeed. Oh my gosh, I tell you, it's hard out here for a young lady that's trying to keep her mouth just just clean. It really is not clean, but and because sometimes I feel like I need to get my mouth washed out with soap. But I will say, I know for me, I'm gonna take accountability for me. And, sometimes I need to shut up. And that's exactly what I'm going to do on some situations. But because I feel like, you said she really tried to, right. I think a lot of times, I know for me, real can recognize real. And the people that choose not to see it, that's because they want to like people. Um, I know I did that too. If I like people, even though I may see some things, I try to act like it's not there. So I have played stupid as well. So I'm gonna just say that. So I'm taking accountability for that. Sometimes when you like people, you are stupid. You act like you don't see what actually is there. Um, and That I've done that too. So I will take accountability for me and how I've acted because this is how I used to be. And I stopped being like this just recently because of the situations I've been through. But I will say I stopped giving people the benefit of the doubt. You know, it is what it is. What's there is there. What's not there, that's not there. Um, and I stopped taking people for face value and giving people the benefit of the doubt. Because I had a habit of acting like I didn't see what was actually right there, or acting like I didn't hear what I just heard. You know what I'm saying? So I think that some of us have done that to a certain extent. Not some of us may haven't, some of us, are some no sense. Like both of my grandmothers were no sense type of people. Like it is what it is. They if they see it, they're gonna call it out. And some people have that type of personality. I was kind of one of those people. I just tried to, kind of just get along, and not try to rock the boat. Um, it's okay, Randy. It's okay. It's all right. Because it kind of has something to do with what I'm saying too. Because accountability is saying that I've done that too. So it's okay, Randy. Sorry, yeah, Randy's my bodyguard, so he just get a little sensitive. But I did that too, L, and so I would be disingenuous if I say I've never done it because I have. Um, but you know, and Taryn, I hope I didn't run you away. Sometimes when I you know get a little, so I had to calm down. Love you to Reese's Pieces, but I really feel that accountability is for the most part it's just not there. And don't tell me to take accountability when you can't take accountability for your own behavior. Oh, okay. Yeah, don't take okay. I was saying Taryn, because people get real sensitive because I was about like, I don't give a damn. I was about to go in. I had to catch myself. But especially if I feel right about something, you know what I'm saying? I don't care nothing about what they talking about. You say I'm trying to focus on your topic. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, we moody. We all moody sometimes. Um, I'm moody. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'll take accountability on that. Sometimes I'm moody. And if don't let me feel a certain kind of way. Don't let me feel a certain kind of way. Because if I feel a certain kind of way, I might go on with that narrative rather than the reality. So that's why a lot of times I'll kind of step back. I say, is this my moody day, or is this really something that I'm seeing and feeling? Okay, because I try to separate the two because I know I can be kind of moody in the way of, especially if I feel like you've done something or you've maybe tried to is throw a shot at me. I can kind of be like that. So I have to kind of say, okay, this is not, don't take this personal, Selena. Don't, I talk to myself. I don't care if they say crazy people talk. Well, hell, I'm crazy because I have to talk myself down on a lot of stuff. I have to talk myself from not acting a fool. And I'm taking accountability on that because I know that I can be a fool. And 90% of the time, I'm a very jovial person. Well, I ain't gonna say that. Let me stop lying. So I take accountability on that. I'm not jovial, all 90%. But 90% of the time, I'm cool. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm just trying to just take one day at a time. I'm chill. You know what I'm saying? The other 10%, it's a war raging. So don't start nothing, it won't be nothing. And if you're not scared, you should be, because them quiet people, they are real ignorant. What you say, more like 6% jovial? Yeah, Phoenix. I can, yeah, 6%. It just depends. Cause I'm really, I'm just kind of chill. You know what I'm saying? I'm not too overly excited about anything, to be honest with you. And I rarely believe, especially now, anything people say now. For the most part, I'm just looking at them like, okay, I'll go by your actions rather than what you're saying to me. Cause so I'll take accountability. I have trust issues. Okay. So that's another one of my problems. So you've learned something about me. I take accountability. I have some trust issues. I have played stupid before, act like I didn't see things that actually were there. What's the other thing I'll take accountability for? I have a little temper problem, but I'm getting better. Um, what's another thing I take accountability for? Hey Tips, how are you? Um, what else? I can be moody, especially if you put me in a situation or I feel like you, and I'm gonna say feel like you put me in a situation or you said something. Hey TJ, you put me in a situation I didn't like, and I might feel a way, and I might have to tell you about it, and it might not sound or feel so good to you. And another thing I'll take accountability for, sometimes I can cut people and I don't even realize I cut them. And what I mean by that, I call myself trying to give people constructive criticism, and I don't say it in a way that, and then sometimes you can't, because some people just need to come straight from the hip. Just stop all the BS. And let me just tell you exactly what time it is. But everybody not gonna receive it the same way. So you gotta be careful how you give your messages to people. Now if you and sometimes you kind of like me where some days you just don't care, just know that you might ruin some relationships because of that, and people be looking at you sideways after you don't finish told them exactly how you feel about stuff. So just recognize that. So if you okay with losing friendships and losing people or making people look at you sideways like, dang, she didn't even have to come at me like that, then I can understand that because sometimes it's much needed. Okay. Sometimes it is much needed because some people just definitely they need to get they need to get cut with a machete with your mouth, because they just get out of line with you. Yeah, they get out of line with you. So only you will know when somebody deserves it or not. Mm. But I know for me, I just say, you know what? There's sometimes I should have just kind of backed off a little bit, or I should have just said it differently to where, just do it the way I would say for the most part, do it the way you would want somebody to do it to you. If you don't want nobody being disrespectful to you, then, you know, do it do it a way where it's not disrespectful, and everybody different. So what you may find disrespectful, I might not find disrespectful. But, I would just say, since you don't know everybody, you don't know everybody's heart, you don't know sometimes what's so sensitive to a person, try your best just to do it in a way where it's respectful if you can. But just some things ain't gonna be respectful. Some things it is what it is. And especially if I don't like you, you gonna get it exactly how I'm gonna give it. But then too, I don't always do it that way because like when you at work, even if it's a coworker, there's very few people that I have worked with and I just don't like. I usually get along with people that I work with for the most part. I don't have any issues. And if there is some issues where I'm just like, yo, I can't deal with this whole, I just kind of like, I distance myself or I make my communications with them very short. Hey Cam Newtown, how are you? Hope you like, share, and subscribe. There is sometimes I've had coworkers, and there's very few. that I just don't have nothing else to say to. I just, they speak, I say good morning and keep it moving. I don't want to talk to you. We don't need to do none of that unless it's a project or if or I have to, you're asking me about a question about, the kids or about anything that has concerning the job. Like, but I ain't gonna fool with you. But you have to get me to that point. I'm one of them people. I like to be cool, not make enemies with folks. So you have to kind of get me to that point where I'm like, where I can get straight up like, I I don't fool with you, nigga. Okay, move around. People I work with. You said people at work thinks I'm mean. Well, don't nobody. I mean, I was one chick. I'll take accountability of that. I was a little bit, cause I just think she was fake. You know how some people you can go around and you can be around them, and maybe somebody could think of me that way, but you can go around somebody and they just do they put on too much. And what I mean by that, they act like they just so friendly and and they really not, because you can, I don't know how to describe it, but sometimes you can, if a person is genuinely nice or if a person just putting on, and they use a lot of flattering, they try to flatter you to make you feel like, oh, you're such a wonderful person. That just fake stuff. And it's like, girl, get for real. And I had one person like that, and I just stayed away from her. I spoke to her stuff. Hello, good morning. But I didn't really like being around her because she just put on too much and laughing at stuff that wasn't even funny. I just said, girl, stop it. So, like Miss Collins would say, stop it. Just stop. You know what I'm saying? Just stop. If you really just not a really nice person, or you really just not that, jovial all the time, just be yourself. Quit trying to. And so I would always kind of stay away from her because I just knew that her she wasn't genuine. It was just something that I felt in my gut. And I tried to give her the benefit of the doubt because she really didn't do anything to me. So I always remained respectful and professional. But I just was like, oh, I just can't stand it. Because I just couldn't stand that type of fakery. You know what I'm saying? Um, so when people be saying I'm fake, I'm just trying to figure out like how. Because if I like you, I like you, and if I don't, I don't. So I'm not sure why. But everybody has their opinion on stuff. Now, sometimes I will try to, even if I don't too much care for a person, I will try to be cordial with a person. I may not like, it's not like how can I say this? It's not that I don't like them. Maybe it's some of their behavior that I don't like, and but they wouldn't be somebody I would hang out with or talk to regularly or at all really, because sometimes I'll cut off communication with people. And yeah, it's not that I don't like you, I just don't like some of your personality. So I'll separate myself. But then people say you being fake when you do that. Well, hell, you're damned if you do and damned if you don't. And on this in this world, because when you back away from people, then people call you fake. Well, no, I'm really being truthful to myself, because if I'm backing away from you, that means I don't like how you move. And that's just my personal opinion. Don't say I don't like you as a person. I just don't like how you move. And so I separate myself. I do things differently. And if you don't like that, if you want to call that being fake or sneaky, well, so be it. F you. You said you're not the kind of person to try to give everyone a chance. Facts, you're not the kind of person you try to give. Yeah, I try to be, but at times now I'm like, hell no, I ain't give you no chance. That's why I say, that's why I make my circle small. Even in even in my real life, not my real life, my circle is small. It's kind of weird. Like my circle is small, my intimate circle is small, but like I deal with a lot of people, like as far as like I- I'm around a lot of people a lot of times, and a lot of people know me. Um, but I would say in my intimate circle, like people that I would really share like things with, like what's going on with me, that is very small. You said, stay away from jealous spirits. They can't wait to be. Oh yeah, when Mad Day happens, Willie will. Huh, you better watch it. They on your ass. That's why I said you got to be careful what you tell people, and even if you didn't tell, their ass shit with it. But you have to be very careful about who you even are. Just light conversations with because they will take it and run with it on Mad Day. They will take it and run with it. So accountability, have I done that? No. Um, Usually, when I have situations with people, um, that's between me and that person unless they want to come forth and say something about it. I have moved on from people, and some people never knew, right? Unless they made it an issue, right? So when people make it an issue, that's on them. But you ain't gonna see me bring it to the forefront because I believe in what is behind the scenes is behind the scenes. What happens in my family, it happens in my family. Only thing y'all gonna know about some things if I tell you, like I was telling you about my handsome cousin that couldn't keep his dick in his pants. And then when I was telling you about some things with my sister and my brother-in-law, or my little nieces and nephews, I'll tell them little funny stories maybe about that because I love them so much. But other than that, I ain't gonna tell you all about I just may say something about my grandparents or something like that, kind of my background when I was telling y'all yesterday. Uh, about my grandmother, great grandmother, and my grandmother having Creole ancestry. We was talking about that stuff in Louisiana and stuff like that. But I ain't gonna tell you nothing else that I don't. I ain't telling you no family secrets. Hell no, it ain't none of your business. Good, not for these folks to take it and make content out of it. So if I let you get to know me, just a little bit of me, you should be thankful because I don't do that often. I'm very closed off in real life. And now I'll take accountability. Sometimes I shouldn't be with certain people because everybody not bad, but it's a lot of people that are. So sometimes it takes me a while to kind of warm up to people because you ain't gonna catch me out here pouring out my heart, being so transparent. Now I'm gonna let you know I'm not a perfect person. I'm gonna let you know that I don't have it all together. And in some ways, I might be struggling in some areas that you may be great in. But I ain't gonna go out all in my personal business. That's none of your concern. I don't go in personal people, people's personal business unless they tell me something. Then I'll say, "Oh, for real?" You know what I'm saying? But I'm not gonna ask you about nothing you got going on. When the last time you slept with somebody? When the last what happened to you when you was a child? All that kind of stuff. Nah, they ain't none of my business. You said, why should other people be real? You and I meant I'm typing that. Oh, okay. I don't know what you said. I gotta go back and look at it. You said, Selena, I feel that way as well. I will admit I've made mistakes, taking their true ways they feel for granted. He said, being fake means you're a follower. If you can't be real by yourself, why should other people be real with you? Stay with the fake people that like to be phony and lie. Yeah, like I don't be, like some of these people know good and damn well they be lying about stuff. Like, okay, and this is where I'll go say back, hey Lionel, when I used to see things but wouldn't call it for what it was. Now, I'm not talking about on YouTube. I'm talking about like in real life. Like, okay, I'm talking about like my everyday life. Now, YouTube, I ain't gonna say too much on some things because first of all, that comes with more problems that I'm not that type of content creator that wanna keep talking about stuff that, and make the beef. That's not me. So I'm not gonna be speaking on a lot of stuff on here. Cause these motherfuckers crazy on here. They'll be doing a whole uh month of live streams or stuff just because you have an opinion. So I ain't even doing that on that kind of stuff. But what I will say, like if it comes like things in my personal life or people that I know, I'm gonna speak on it and I'm gonna stand on that stuff. Cause it been some times in my family, like I have said, seen some things, and I'm like, now you know good and damn well you was wrong on that. What? And I'll tell my cousins, especially people I'm close with, like my cousin, tell me now, y'all know y'all was wrong on that. Y'all need to stop that. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I'm the mediator, and I have to tell people, you was wrong. Don't do that. But I ain't gonna speak on a lot of stuff on here because like I said, I don't know these people. And then like I said, when you speak on a lot of stuff on here, they want to put you in beef. And it's like, well, damn, I just had an opinion like everybody else had an opinion. So if I say something, it's a problem. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm just like, nah, I ain't speaking on shit. Excuse me. I'm not speaking on anything on YouTube or anything else. Hey, Dee. I'm not speaking on any of that because, like I said, at the end of the day, these people don't know how to take constructive criticism, and this is not my platform. My platform is not beef. I talk about things, subjects like this, accountability, how I've taken accountability, how other people should look at themselves and take accountability. Like that's the stuff I talk about. Selena, I got a combo for you for sending you tons. Oh, thank you, Lionel. My link, if you wanted to come up, it's on the community wall. I put my link up there. Hey, Bolo. So if you wanted to come up, you can come up on my link. So yeah, I just like, I had to check myself because I can be a number. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm a great. I like to say I'm a great person. Oh Lord, I am a wonderful person. I am. I'm not trying to convince myself, but I am. I am a nice person, but I really I got ways just like anybody else. Um, and I like I said, the difference between me and a lot of other people is I see where I am wrong and I work on those things. I don't just keep acting like I don't see them. You know what I'm saying? You just say, that was a lucky horse. Yeah, I like riding horses. They that horse was very liking towards me. Um, horses can tell when they know when they're comfortable with people. And that horse was comfortable with how I was riding him. So the outlaws are you. Oh, you never can get my name right, outlaw. You always say S.A. My name is S.E. Oh Lord. But that horse was so comfortable with me riding on him. He was just enjoying the ride. He didn't want me to get off. I could tell. I said I was a cowgirl. Yes, indeed. A cowgirl up in the house. But yeah, I like riding. I'm going back on I'm going back what is the outlaw talking about? He said, damn D you next. What's going on now? Kevlo, you always doing some bullshit. What you up to? You said you like ride. Oh yeah, I like riding horses. Kevlo, did you see me riding that horse? That was one of the best days I had, man. I'm going on the my cousin's ranch pretty soon, and I'm gonna ride that mother sucker again. Hmm. I love that horse. My mind went somewhere else. You know, I always like to get little flirty. Stay on the saddle. Yeah, I was on that saddle clean. I was giddy up, giddy up, giddy up. But anyway, I'm finna get off of here and y'all cutting up in this chat. What you say, Selena? You get that horse, you better ride it, ride it, ride it, ride it. What's that song? Horses on in the stable. Yes, indeed. He said, I'm in Los Angeles, guy. We don't ride horses. That's that's a South thing. Yes, Lord. Yes, and Lord. I'm a cowgirl now. But anyway, I'll talk to y'all later. I just want to say, I take accountability for my faults. And we all would um do better, and be the best version of us if we learn to do that as well. Then that was my point. So y'all be easy and I will talk to y'all later. Y'all something else. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.